began working in Love's Park, a town that wouldn't let her forget even for a moment who she was. Maybe a fresh start was what she needed. Denver wasn't too far a drive, yet it felt a whole world away from here. But as quickly as the idea entered her mind, reality bumped it out of the way. Her father had entrusted the book nook to her upon his death. It was the only thing that had ever connected the two of them when he was alive. A shop full of books. Perhaps it was a silly legacy. It certainly hadn't made her wealthy, and it wouldn't change the world. But it was all she had left of him, and she wasn't about to let it go. Besides, she had a plan to expand her little shop. A plan that had once felt like a whisper on the wind, but that might actually come to pass. 2 months before, her landlady, Harriet, who ran a mercantile in the other half of the building, told Abigail she'd decided to retire and shut down the mercantile. Abigail received the news with the appropriate amount of sadness, amazed at her own ability to act forlorn when, in truth, she fought to contain her joy. Of course she'd missed the shop next door. Harriet was a kind woman, and her 2 sons were always bringing home the most unique items from their worldwide travels. But it meant that finally, she could expand her own store. She could already see the expansion in her mind. She'd visualized it every time she walked into the mercantile. Abigail had already decided how to transform one of the mercantile's walls into a gallery of her favorite local artists. She knew exactly where she would display vintage treasures and handmade jewelry. And in her spare time, she'd already refinished a number of flea market furniture discoveries that customers were sure to love. Abigail was sure the book nook could be much more than a tidy, cozy shop packed with wall-to-wall books. Adding the cafe with local gourmet coffee last year was a nice touch, but her dream was more vintty than tall. Plus, she'd finally be owner, not tenant, and something about that made Abigail grow a bit inside. Wyatt Nelson, premier realtor of Love's Park, had given his word she'd be the first to know of any interest in the property, but his offer was about to expire. "The sign is going up in 10 days, he'd recently told her in his "I'm a very busy man" voice. She made a mental note to pester Harvey at the bank and find out what on earth was taking him so long. Once that sign went up, stiff competition would follow. Love's Park, nestled up in the Rocky Mountains, was prime real estate. The picturesque backdrop and nearby national parks brought thousands of tourists to their little town each year. Add to that the never-ending celebration of romance, and, much to Abigail's dismay, Love's Park became a prime location for weddings, honeymoons, and those looking to rekindle what they once had. Despite how she felt about the endless supply of couples, it all contributed to the fact that Abigail's building, right in the heart of Old Town, was one of the most desirable within city limits. "So, what do you want me to do about this profile?" Mallory asked, pulling the laptop to her. Abigail shot her a look. "Delete it, please." "Working on it." Out of the corner of her eye, Abigail saw someone walk past the side window. She turned toward it. "Is that Aaron?" Mallory barely glanced up, fingers tapping on the keyboard. "Is it 20 after?" "I think it's just now 7. "Then he's not here." Mallory punched a few more keys and leaned back, triumphant. "Do something about that, will you?" Abigail hoisted her bags over her shoulder and started for the office. "Like, fire him?" Mallory shut the laptop and stashed it underneath the counter. "He's too cute to fire. Just give him a warning or whatever." Abigail let the office door swing closed behind her, not wanting to hear Mallory's dry retort, something like, "Because that worked so well last time." Who needed the reminder that she was a soft boss? Abigail sank into her desk chair, the quiet solace of her office washing over her. Another dating site? Really, Mom? In that moment, the embarrassment of being the black sheep of Love's Park's romantic tradition washed over her like cold water from a bucket. Why had God seen fit to give everyone but Abigail their Mr. Right, despite her years of praying, despite knowing she'd make someone a perfect wife? At least, she hoped she would. Correction.